what that is. And we have to go to the old Sycamore to fight. At least 2 of the 3 bosses are there, if I can figure it out. What's the status of on the quest here? 25 days still. We're good. We'll start with the riverine thingy. It's a lot closer. I love these, because when they start, you could totally avoid this fight if you want to. You can just leave. Trollhound. It's so easy.
I know the way.
Oh, and it was 1 Trollhound. That's it. Well, sure. Do not enter. Rest. It's another 8 hours gone. Or 14 or whatever that was the number. God. Okay. Yeah, we didn't kill him last time.
I'll go ahead. Here I am. See.
Time to buff.
Together we are unstoppable.
I know what to do.
Any fun to be had?
What you want? Confide in me.
Okay. Pretty sure the fight starts right away. Yeah.
I'm not afraid.
Oh, wow. I think it's a lot of health. And a lot of defenses, too. Oh, my God. I wonder if that helps. Did he miss? You probably missed. Yeah. Well, can he cast this from like the distance he's at? We still manage to hit him sometimes. I think it's just a matter of like just toughing it out, to be honest. Do that. Do that. Oh! We did it! This an actual location? No, okay, you can't enter this. Okay. Oh my God. What does he carry? Well, that's kind of lame. All of that for 18 XP? Wow. Boy, am I glad we did that. That was so not worth. Plus, you can't even loot him. because he doesn't leave a body behind or something. So it's just like nothing. Wow, that was such bullshit. Okay, let's forget about this then. Let's get here. That's another day right there of travel alone. And that's if we don't rest, which we'll have to do. We'll be able to do a few of these before being forced to go into the thing. What is it now? Oh, Skeletal Champion. Oh. Not a super big fan of this.
Follow my lead.
That's it. That is it. Dude, that monster gave us more XP than the water elemental. Feels bad, man. Feels bad. I would have honestly hoped for more. I'm going in there because I want to give him the
In due time.
I want to turn in the quest. Staglord is dead. Pharasma awaits. Farewell, Shino. You freed an innocent soul from eternal torment, Shino. Yours is truly a noble soul. Tristan lowers his head and begins whispering a prayer. The corpse crumbles to the ground. Well, cool story, bro. Short spear plus 1. Thank you. Leave. Okay. Let's go up here. Save.
I need to catch my breath.
Well, apparently we're resting. I don't know what that place is. A gloomy, soggy lowland leading into a swamp. Travelers avoid this place. The swamp is dangerous on its own, but it also tends to attract monsters and other unpleasant creatures. We walked across the Eve for a long time, yet no sign sprang up before our eyes. By turns, we discovered a verdant lowland with several near-about springs streaming down behind another hillside. And then in the distance, in the center of the lowland amongst the bushes, there stood a single dry tree, a true giant. Its magnificent outline resembled an animal's paw, clawing in the sky. But what was truly remarkable, the flat landscape was dotted by mysterious dark humps. They were piled about the height of a man and scattered around in abundance. We'll explore the lowland. The further we trekked, the softer the land became. Step by step, Eve grass gave way to moss, low-growing shrubs, and ferns, and then slowly puddles of stinky swamp water. The muddy ground sucked at our feet, and soon our party was jumping from assock to assock. Finally, we reached the first group of mysterious humps, and learned they were no mere hills, but dugouts dwellings. We moved with great care towards the center of the lowland, and there, the real swamp began. On the way towards the mysterious giant tree, we saw the foggy outline of another hut, this one much bigger and surrounded by small clay statues. We examined the surrounding dwellings. Inside the dugouts were frowsy and dark, darker than holes, and filled with absolute desolation. There were no windows, and these mud halls, no furniture or other homely items, except for the odd piece of tattered wicker. But every dwelling had a large hollow dug right in the center of the dirt floor, like a fire pit, but taking up the greater part of the space. They were filled with standing water and reeked beyond description. We would not retreat and moved ever forward towards the tall tree, determined to visit the big hut on our way there. We walked slowly, carefully choosing our way, keeping the drier ground as much as possible, but the further we went, the more difficult it became, and soon we were wading waist deep through the cattails. Frogs croaked loudly as we peered anxiously into the cloudy water, struggling to make out what shadows flitted along the bottom. Suddenly, Shino staggered, spit out an oath, and flailed her arms. She made a wrong step, and unable to pull out her foot, she called out loudly and began to sink into the vile green slush. Where we have another, we'll try it out. Oh. We'll try it out anyway. Where we have another of us getting sucked into the bug, we decided to form a living chain, sitting next to one another and holding hands. We began to pull out our fellow traveler. Of course not. Shino's head was sucked below the deadly, icky water, but our hands were just in time. We pulled with all our strength, and she emerged gasping above the frothy muck. Shino was rather green by the time we lifted her out, but found the strength to thank us once she caught her breath. Ugh. The insatiable bug gurgled angrily after us, but we didn't look back. Sudden and wary, we finally made it back to the solid ground, and a palace of sorts rose before our eyes. A spacious hut made of mud, like the rest, but decorated with pebble, bones, cattail spikes, and snail shells. In front of the palace was a wide and shallow reservoir. Its green water reflected the leaves of huge ferns and primitive clay figurines. The buzzing of gnats was nearly deafening. We were not far to the center of the swamp, and a firm and steady path led there through thick bushes. At its end, that tall, dry tree stretched mightily upward, clawing in the firmament. Oh, we'll try it out. We carefully examined the clay figurines, trying to fathom who they might portray. Goggle eyes, flat heads with no necks, ears, or chins, ugly long legs, unnaturally bent. These sculptures could only be the work of bogards. Primitive, cruel bogard tribes had inhabited the swamps of Garoon and Avistan since the olden days. Pitiless to others and to each other, they were led by the darker instincts of their insane priest kings. They are known to grow young fry in the pools inside the houses. The buzzing... Okay, we peeked inside the hut. The palace was twice the height of other huts, and its entrance was wide enough that 3 could walk abreast. The walls were decorated, and an unknown builder had scratched drawings in the clay while it was still wet. The faded scrawl depicted huge amphibians devouring smaller figures. Some frog-headed, others not. 3 of the 4 rooms boasted large holes filled with water, just like the other dwellings, though here there were steps descending into them, cut into the dirt. In the furthest room, we found equipment decorating the walls, leather armors, spears, clubs. To our surprise, a number of items were well preserved. The hut was clearly deserted, so we felt no shame in taking some of it with us. Oh. We continued forward. It was ever so lovely to walk once again along the well-trodden path. Our soaked clothes... Imagine being dry, and our mood at once lifted. The bushes that bordered the path seemed to wave at us amiably, with their juicy green leaves and shiny bright red berries. A fresh wind puffed away the rotten smell, and it finally felt like the swamp might be nearly behind us. But then the wind stopped blowing, and the thorny branches continued to move, and we heard a loud shout. Valerie, who was watching our rear, pointed to a surging, crawling wall of green filling in the path behind us. The surrounding thicket was coming to life. Its branches reached out with a soft, swishing sound. Drops of sap oozed from their thorns, gleaming in an emerald dusk. The path was disappearing. There was no way back, and the clear space ahead was closing. Well, clearly it's going to be mobility, because it's a guaranteed success. We ran forward as fast as our legs could carry us, flying towards the closing passage. As any experienced travelers can tell you, sometimes you walk and sometimes you run. These branches snatched at our backpacks and clothes, and the sprouts tangled at our feet, but we slipped our grasp. We were too quick. Finally, after what seemed an endless trek, we came upon the gigantic dry tree that had so intrigued us from the beginning. Lo and behold, we saw an idol cut in its trunk, a huge horned, three-eyed toad. Its googly eyes made it look both cruel and dumb, almost idiotic. Its muzzle hung half open, sharp-toothed with several hanging tongues. Deep brown streaks oozed from the corners of its mouth. Let's try lore religion. We tried to glean what sort of idols it might be. There could be no doubt this was Gogunta, master of the great swamp in the demon abyss. Is a demon lord of fetid swamps and serves as the sole goddess of the swamp-dwelling bogarts. Gogunta appears as a frog with many heads and even more eyes and tongues. Bogarts portray her as a huge queen of their kind. There could be... Okay, but what is this? While we were examining the idol, a large, bright blue dragonfly came out of a hollow in the tree and sat invitingly on the very tip of one of our noses. It was so remarkably strange. It didn't react to our movement and seemed quite content to remain where it sat. I kind of want to try this. Suddenly, Shino grabbed the dragonfly and held it in front of her mouth. Oh gods, did she just decide to eat it? I heard a wet crunch and I winced before I could look. I turned around hearing a faint cry. Shino had turned white and started to collapse. We barely had time to catch her. After returning to life in a few hours, she told us amazing things. It turns out that Bogart's priests ate blue dragonflies to fall into hypnotic trances, where they could hear the will of the goddess, the demon lord Gogunta, the creator of all Bogart kind. In her dream, Shino saw ancient times, how the Bogarts built their settlements, how they raided the neighbors and enslaved their children, how they held bloody rituals to honor bloated amphibian monsters, the roar of their laughter throughout the dark centuries, and she saw a priest bury a stash of plundered jewelry in his gut, rather than offering it to his cruel goddess. In return, the wrathful Gogunta set a horrible plague upon his tribe, and that priest would be their last. We turned around to leave the abominable swamp. The flesh-eating bush grew quiet and gave way. On the journey back, we were sure to look inside the priest's hut and dig out the treasure that had once wiped out this entire tribe. It was an emerald. Cool. Hey, man. I kind of hate that it's not marked as if it's been seen, though. It's a bit unfortunate. Oh, I got something here. I'm sickened. Oh, that's not good. That's super bad. I mean, we're super close to the old sycamore. We could try and go there. How many days do I have? 22 days still. We're good. Save. Let's go down to the old sycamore. Now, I wonder if there's a spell that can remove that sicken thing. Like, is there like an item maybe that we have? Remove sickness? No, I mean, this removes... Yeah, it just removes, like, curses. No, not really. Does that count? It does. Oh. Player, thank you so much for that 100 bitsies. Oh my god. Thank you so very much, dude. 110 BTs even. Wow. Thank you very much, dude. It's going to pop on the screen, I think, in a second. But just in case, thank you, man. You are the very best. It should pop. Hopefully. How are you doing, player? What's up, man? Okay, let's go. I'm gonna go the Shambling Mound thing. Can you? Is there a spell or something you can use to remove disease? There must be a... Oh, treat affliction. Oh, yeah. Oh. So he did not succeed.
Head on.
And now we have a... Now we can try again for like another day. Oh, well. Oh, well.
All according
Okay, the Lonely Shambling Mound I want to kill.
How may I help?
here. I'm listening. No mistakes.
If I remember correctly, it's pretty intense. Bro. Come on now. There we go. There probably is, yeah.
Where to now?
Now, what if we all back out and our bro Tristan throws a fireball to that guy, to the face?
Our victory is certain.
Tear them apart!
Oh, wow. What do you mean it's this disciples? Woo! Ah, ha, ha, ha. A silver pendant found tied to a branch on the Shambling Mound. The name Bertha is engraved upon it. I wonder if we'll meet our family or something at some point and be like, hey man, like, we know what happened. Sorry about this. Yeah, I'm okay with not binding them so far. I mean, if I do need to bind them, or if I feel like I want to, I'll do it. Oh, we have the huge ass guy here too. Yeah, we'll find him first. Do need to heal her though. I need an emerald for a quest. Great. Then we'll keep it.
This should do it.
Disciples 2? No, I don't know what that is. Bro, how is he not...